Tap, tap. Do you hear that? Tapping the glass over the shadow over cyberspace. Let's continue on with the next day. Alright. So how does this continue after I've, let me see. I think I've already done, there's only like maybe 3 of these characters that need, the last of their dialogue to be talked with. There is order in all these things. Don't like these bath mats and throw rugs, fuzzy toilet seat and all that. What more will there be? Underwater, huh? Can't breathe. Everything floating. Pressure crushing me. It's too much, too much.
Deeper and deeper you go, sinking into the lightless abyss.
What you're doing?
Your friends drag you downwards in their attempt to help. The old ones encourage you to dive further into the void.
Well, I already made a call to the void.
Your thoughts are now structured along the axis of order, becoming more machine than mind. That's rigidity, not rationality.
I'm assuming the fact that my mind is like 70% order compared to either being more human or chaotic. That whenever I go play this again and do like more chaos than order, then this little aspect here will be chaotic instead of rational.
I'd like to believe it's still possible to survive this ocean of conspiracies before it swallows you forever. But it's getting increasingly difficult to hold faith that you can swim to the surface on your own.
Well, if there was no one holding me back, then I can always just sink to the bottom on my own faster.
Know this. I will always be willing to help you.
You say that.
Right up to the end. I will be there to embrace you as a friend.
I wonder how well I can do this, though.
But if you continue to deny my helping hand, you will drown in the endless depths of your own failed ambition.
I'm certain that Cthulhu could just destroy me at any time. Of course, what the others have said, or Dagon in this case, his pride is preventing him from doing so. More so just playing with the idea that he has a rival, and that I can do nothing about it.
Assuming you survive to see tomorrow.
Tomorrow. And the floating ceases, landing awkwardly on my feet. I stumbled a little. I cough and cough up seawater? No, that's not possible. It was just a vision, just a memory. Does Cthulhu actually have the power to warp reality, not just appearing out of thin air, as like this sort of digital avatar, but being able to like conjure up the feeling that I am just deep below the sea. Huh. My grandfather drowned. Was just like once too often during a fishing trip, eager to bring home more weird trophies for the wall. Oh, you mean these things? Oh, I see. Well, now you're saying that he's like a fisherman. Well, you know, fishing trip. And these sort of creatures look like they're more deep sea, I think. Is that what his last moments felt like? To be relentlessly pressed on all sides by the depths? Well, yeah. And if you go deeper underwater, it's just gonna feel like you're being crushed, like a soda can. Well, a filled can of soda. Eventually, that soda's gonna pop. Frick, I gotta shake free of this and get moving. Clear the answer machine tape, clear my head, get back to my research. Well, there seems to be someone here.
Are you looking for a life insurance policy
This
that
again?
truly offers peace of mind at an affordable price?
Yeah, who's gonna afford, who's gonna get my life insurance?
Are you concerned about what the 21st century holds, not knowing what dangers lie on the road ahead?
Hmm?
Are you tired of threats from within and without, breaking the sanctity of home and hearth?
Threats from within?
Are you worried that you've enraged someone who is tired of you ignoring them and dismissing them as a trivial annoyance?
The caller themselves. Look, you're like one of many telemarketers that call nearly every day. And sometimes we don't really have the time or patience just to answer all of that. Lots of stuff to do.
Are you prepared to face the consequences of your own actions?
Yes.
But with affordable rates and reasonable compensation packages, our insurance policy offers you the comfort and security you need.
Hmm. And just like that, I seem to have glazed right through.
To apply, simply provide your social security number.
I wonder if that's just the usual spiel that they say back then. Because right now it just sounds like a scam. I really, really need to figure out how to get on some kind of do not call list. Yeah. Interviews from Nomitech and all that. What else is over here? Okay, start of a new week. Well, I guess you could say that it's Monday. I'll be able to talk. Let's see. I think I talked to Nyarlathotep on Sunday, and then I'll be talking to Hastur today, and then Yogg-Sothoth, Dagon, and then finally Azathoth on that day, and then having a spare week and a half to contemplate what I'm doing next. Yeah, about 11 days or 10 to do something. Want to eat round food. Eat the same thing. Proper time. Sandwich. Okay, let's get back to it. Hello, friend. It's December 20, 1999. I'm very happy to see you again. Now what do I like to do? Check on the progress. Okay. Now loading in. I say in the key phrase. That is not dead which can eternal lie, and which strange aeons even death may die. Oh, so that's how it went. Alright, I'm thinking it's more so in balance here, with 60% order, 50% chaos. Wasn't that earlier like 70% order and 60% chaos? I'm guessing the humanity bit kind of just lowered all those percentages. As for the old ones themselves, you know? Nyarlathotep, trust me. Yogg-Sothoth also trust me. Hastur trust me as well. And Azathoth trust me. So all four of them trust me. Does that mean they can elevate any one of them to the throne at any time? Or two? Or four? Can I do all of them? Okay. Okay. We'll do a little bit of a hacking while this goes in. I'm guessing this will add into the humanity bit. Alright, Golden Dune 4. I wonder what was going on with that one glitch where it looked like the board was completed. That looks about right. Okay, I think I got that one right. It was like 3 for this one. Okay, there's got to be one right here because we have these two in the corner. Okay, that should get me. That should be these two. Next up, this one. And this one. Got it. That was fun. Alright, Minesweeper. Let's do some research. If there's not, well... Ooh, there's just one here. Alright, the Burned Down Army. Maddie's Rant Corner. Used to be Angry History, but I renamed my homepage whatever. The Burned Down Army exists and doesn't exist. You've heard me rant about anonymous groups before. Well, toss another log on the bonfire because we got a new one. Recently, a Confederate war memorial got defaced. Statue torn down. Head cut off. Less impressive than it sounds. They're not solid brass. Those things were made cheap as hell by daughters of the Confederacy to intimidate black people. Yeah, I do understand that it's the Confederacy here. Graffiti nearby read, Burn Down Army, and Y2K is coming, and Death to All Gods. That sounds a lot like Nyarlathotep's own cult is coming over to break everything. Naturally, the corrupt local cops are claiming this is a hate crime by godless anarchists, and huckster preachers are screaming about persecution. But let's look past that part. If the Burn Down Army exists, it's yet another completely decentralized organization that anyone can float in or out of any time. It's a branding exercise, a self-anointed label. I've seen it mostly associated with Crawlster, but really anyone could decide to be a Burn Down Army. And that worries me. Sure, trashing a traitor statue is good fun. Parenthetical, American gladiators outlast the Confederacy. Let that sink in. Huh. But the Oklahoma City bombers thought they were good guys too. What happens when someone in the army decides vandalism ain't enough? Now Maddie's an old bastard. I fully acknowledge this. Don't think I've ultimately any right to tell the oppressed they're doing revolution wrong. Well, can't really do anything about that when it can be seen as either vandalism or terrorism. Well, in a little bit, currently it's right now is vandalism. But on a bigger scale, it becomes terrorism. On the other hand, maybe it's time for the young to throw a Molotov into the works. Because the works ain't working for many, I just hope they've got good aim. Because fires have a bad habit of spreading to the ones you never wanted to incinerate in the first place. Huh. Angry history site. Maddie J. And that's about it. Alright. Have like a sandwich here. And another one. And another. Everything has meaning and nothing is real. Alright, let's go ahead and just do a shower and then a second shower. Calorie intake. And converse with a Necronomicon. Okay, we're back over here. Waxing Gibbous Moon tonight. Let's look on the television, see if anything crops up. I guess not.
The weather will continue until morale improves.
Currently it's like half cloudy and half sunny. Alright. And that's it. Nothing really new here.
The weather will continue.
Okay. Until morale improves. That's about it. Okay, Necronomicon. Now, let's see. Invoke the ancient name. I could talk to them again, right? Well, wait, let's see. The previous one is Nyarlathotep. Now go down the list. It kind of does feel like I can probably talk to them again, but what would there be to talk to? Just to hang out, I guess? Because I've already used up all 3 of their dialogue options. Or maybe I could just revisit them and perhaps just use some words for leverage. Alright. Now contacting Hester at Carcosa.com. And here we go. Now to remember what voice I gave this guy. Hester. And Blanco's back for more. Couldn't resist my charm, eh? You've caught me at an odd moment. I'm working through a stack from the board. I'd like to review and authorize any major moves. But, paperwork can wait. I'm always glad for company, and it shows you think this merger could have legs. That's all I ask. Fair consideration. It's a free market. You've got the right to pick your own dance partner. Anything late to chat about, Blanco? Well, there's only one thing left I can think of, and it's the one about your yellow suit. Alright. And since there's no option to tell me so, I did remember that one. So, the King in Yellow. Where did that come from? I kind of feel like this dialogue option should have either been first or second, because I did kind of. Let me see here. What was the three options? One of them was about let me see. This one was about asking you why you called yourself, or why people called you King in Yellow. The second option was like what was that one? Okay, I already forgot about that. But I do know that the other one was more. Yeah, the third option was just knowing, getting to know who you were as a former human. And the first option was like well, was that one about the yellow sign or AMs? Something like that. Anyway, so the King in Yellow. Where did that come from exactly? I know Hastor was an ancient god of shepherds, which seemed to fit. It's not a name you chose. Well, while you do seem to enjoy being a king. I think I had talked about this beforehand when I was doing a little bit of research on the old gods here. When I was just getting like a quick synopsis on, yeah, on TV shows about the Cthulhu mythos for these specific four characters. And there's also like other interpretations of what you may think of Hastor, the King in Yellow, and the city of Carcosa, where you could think of it as an actual city or a play or anything at all, or it could be like what was it? What's that word called? I'm not really gonna use euphemism. No, that's just something else entirely. Analogy, maybe. Another interpretation, Carcosa being the afterlife. Well, it seems to be more so appropriate here, where all the AMs and me, if I do actually die from the yellow sign, would ultimately join Hastor is a walled garden of Carcosa, which is it seemed to be some server, and could very well just be like a glorious afterlife. Could be not. All I know is that in the poem of the Yellow King, or like I think it was called like the Traveler. No, I don't think that's it. Well, it's something about an old poem of the Traveler to the city of Carcosa, something like that. It just means that there's nothing there. Like, if it is meant to be an interpretation of the afterlife, well, the afterlife is empty, and that means that while you can still go to the afterlife, it looks like something else has destroyed it, whatever that could be. And all that's left is the King in Yellow, which would be you. There's like some certain interpretations of the King in Yellow, whether they're and it's the King in Yellow seems to show up whenever you either invoke his name, like what it is now, or you just say it, not worrying about like it's a cursed name, and it's enough to summon him, or even just mentioning Carcosa. Some may say the King in Yellow is actually just a king of decadence, whether it's like the king of downfall, or rot, or even entropy, or in a more literal sense, the king of nothing, just a void in space. And there's like another interpretation from like the SCP Foundation that made like their own version of the King in Yellow and the city of Carcosa as its own thing called the Hanged King. What they decided to do was make the Hanged King a literal void in space in the shape of a man, person, thing, whatever. As one of the things I've said, interviewers have said that it's a god-shaped hole when you pull over the hood, because there's like nothing there. And I'm guessing this void is moving on its own. Well, alright then. Let's keep going. Wouldn't say I enjoy the crown. Instead, I'd say it's suitable and purposeful. A noble king, one who rules with the consent of the ruled and uses executive power to better the kingdom, is an idealized state of affairs. You can say the same for a president, an emperor, a consul, or any other moniker. The goal is sufficient power to enact change, placed in the right hands. And yours are the right hands, right? And then? Can't say I'm a perfect leader, Blanco. I'm only human, formally. But I do my best, and I like to think I am the best at what I do. I'm best at what you do. I think I made a joke about Wolverine here. As for the name, well, it's nothing mythic or grandiose. When I was a door-to-door salesman, I wore a yellow overcoat. Cheap thing, but it got the job done better than any other coat I've owned. Kept me warm in winters. Kept the rain off my shoulders. Plenty of pockets. Big fan of pockets, Blanco. Big fan. Yeah. I'm kind of recalling on a joke I made about how, well, right here, yes, this exact moment here. Let me read on and I'll explain that. I've considered buying up a textile company just to offer women more pockets for their clothes. My wife's suggestion, but couldn't justify the margins. Yeah, when I was mentioning that, currently, most women's jeans have fake pockets. And it would be really nice to have, like, more pockets for them, instead of just carrying purses. They could very well just go over, just grab men's pants, if they so choose. Anyway, getting off track again. Point is, I wore that coat most of my life. Is this the one you're just continuously wearing right now? Got to be known as the Man in Yellow. And I ascended the ranks of management. Well, the office nickname that circled around became the King in Yellow. That's it, just a coat? I was figuring it had something to do with the yellow sign. I didn't name the process that. Nero did. Probably to spite me. Hope I didn't disappoint with my answer, but really, the King in Yellow is a title with humble origins. Nothing noteworthy at all. Dig deeper on the king part. Kings aren't elected. If you could change his nickname, what would he prefer? Coworkers actually mocking him with a nickname? I don't know, maybe. When I went back onto this, what did I choose beforehand? It's been a while, and this game has been going a little bit longer than I originally thought. On the king part, kings aren't elected. So I'm assuming that that your coworkers are just calling you the King in Yellow because of something else. Not just because you're like higher up on the management ladder. If you could change his nickname, what would you prefer? Were the coworkers actually mocking him with a nickname? Perhaps. I don't know which one to choose from. Was it this one? Is it the possibility that your coworkers were using king sarcastically? As you've said, this is America. We have presidents, not kings. King is a word we usually reserve for tyrants. Oh, no doubt many of them meant it in cruel jest. But the jester is a critical function of any royal court, to keep a king in check. In that case, I'd say it's my Yankee Doodle, a name originally intended to insult, but evolved as a badge of pride. I think I also have mentioned what a jester is back here, where you can kind of see that, yes, they're like a stand-up comedian, and just given like the word of the king to basically roast him whenever they want. Of course, the jester's outfit is meant to be like a mockery of the king's outfit. Alright. I'm fine with being the King in Yellow, and anyone who feels it's the calling card of a tyrant, well, they'll soon learn better. I have nothing but respect for my royal court, Blanco. My managerial style is to foster talent and let it grow. As a king, my duty is to select only the finest for my court. Experts, innovators, geniuses, the cream of the crop. I think I've also mentioned, like, he's Cave Johnson posting here, where, if you've ever played, like, Portal 2 and reached to, like, the second or I think the second third of the game. Let me see. I think there was like more than 6 chapters, something like that. Well, anyway, the first third of the game was like going through normal portal, and the second third of the game was like going in the abandoned parts of Aperture Science, and the final third would be just getting out after Wheatley took over. Spoilers, but then again, that game was about 15 years ago. So if you either played it, good job, and if you haven't, well, you had time. Find ways they can make the world a better place, then put them to task. Trust them to do what they do best. I know my limits, Blanco. I don't presume to know how to solve every problem. Trust the experts. Trust the science. When you start to presume you know better than people who have worked their whole lives to know the right answers, well, then you're a tyrant. So you trust all your hand-picked corporate executives, then? I only pick the blue ribbon specialists. Always have, always will. Back in the Nomitech days, we actually had an informal royal court. Managers with a few more wrinkles than the fresh-faced engineers we hired. Called themselves the Old Boys Club. Suppose that means boys, plural. And boys, possessive, really. The old timers stuck together, played cards, went golfing, traded tips and networking information, supported each other, thick and thin. It's good to have social circles, Blanco. It's good to let people into your trust, share with them, uplift your fellow man. Huh. And this one just gives a little bit more order. I think I chose this option beforehand. Any women in this boys club? I kind of wonder why my character has like these options just to add a little bit more diversity, because you know, this is the old times, before the 2000s, of course, where I don't believe there's many women in top position in either corporates, offices, and the like. Well, we do now, and that's great. Just go ahead and assume that there wasn't any, because you know this is I'm gonna assume that it was the 80s before he became an AM when about the Old Boys Club. Has Hector stayed in touch with them since leaving Nomitech? Yes, Unbroken Circles providing structure and trust. Yeah, choose the option. More order. It's the ideal shape, isn't it? A circle? Unbroken and whole, where every point is equal to every other point. Within a circle, you have trust, solidarity, and perfection. To think that Hester would like this little metaphor, but I guess it's a bit of a stretch there. Or as he said, strained. Bit of a strained metaphor, but you're not wrong. And he liked it. Our circle of trust is really a lovely thing, like Carcosa itself, a group dedicated to the future of mankind. All within our circle are elevated to a position of power, which can be leveraged to aid all outside our circles. But so many people see these circles and think, well, they're untrustworthy elites only out for themselves. It's disappointing, but their perception is their own business. We're too busy saving the world to care. You always do have this argument where you could say that the city of Carcosa, all the elites there, could be seen as like the 1% versus everyone else outside of it. And we have like characters like Nyarlathotep who would rather just break down the walls and let everyone in, or like Azathoth, who just wants everyone to be as equal as possible. Of course, it's all like a court of chaos there. Then Yogg-Sothoth, who is more so into going into space than anything else we're doing. Of course, there's always that one moment where Yogg-Sothoth just hijacked a recruitment for one of Hastor's people. So your corporate empire is really going to save the world from the strange Aeon? A benevolent corporation would be a rare thing. Yeah, it's kind of rare to have a corporation, company, or whatever to be ultimately good. there's always like a skeleton in the closet for some of these companies. Not all of them could be all morally good. Could be like something underneath that they're not telling. I agree completely. Greed powers far too many corporate efforts. Shareholder value above all else. Money is power, and power is money. You're not spending it to reinforce your ideals. What's the point? Money just to get more money is meaningless. I'm building Carcosa to be purposeful beyond its stock value. I've never been in this for the money. And now that has my hand-picked champions of the walled garden. We use it only as a tool. To use it for more so investments, right? And to give people an incentive to work with them. Of course, that's kind of the entire point of money, as to show like your value from all the labor you've done. In fact, I'm hoping that once Carcosa comes to dominate the strange Aeon, we can do away with money entirely. Oh yeah, this point right here, where I did say that, a way to like get rid of all what am I referring to here? Yeah, capitalism. Maybe. A corporate Mongol looking to destroy capitalism? Why keep it around? It'd be a relic that served its purpose. Change will be gradual, of course. No overhyped. Over-promising, overnight revolution, like Nero promises. One day, it'll simply be obsolete. And now I'm thinking, there'll be something else that'll replace the idea of money. Like information. Maybe food. Maybe promises of favor. Instead of having like a medium to use as exchange for all of those. If you simply don't want to bank it. Like, let me see here. More so of a favor if you get rid of money altogether. Carcosa can determine the best allocation of resources. Yeah, I can also, other resources as well, not just food. Resources can also be used for barter. Mankind will flourish into a golden age, freed from need and despair. That's the endgame, Blanco. Once Cthulhu is dealt with, once all my corporate rivals are put down or merged into Carcosa, we'll reach paradise. Sounds good, eh? Good reason for you to back the old man's play? I guess so. If you can pull it off, sure, that's a big if. It is a big idea. Also, no way the corporate world will allow this. It'd be war. This isn't too bad. It could be reformed instead. Wonder how well I could do that, you know? I do like the fact that the save file system has only 9 pages showing, but it doesn't go any further than that. And I did kind of play around to see how much farther I can go, but apparently it can go all the way up to, or more than, 99 save slots. Or, I mean pages, yeah. I mean, there's more than 99 save slots. Okay. What did I choose from here? It would be a war. That is a big F, you know? I mean, it sounds great. Who doesn't like utopia? You're talking about unseating a centuries-old, dominant way of thinking. That's going to take work. Are you up to the challenge? Absolutely. Huh. You've heard my pitch. You know what I'm building. My ambition is clear. I'm going to do this. It's nice to know that there are some people here who have this sort of ambition. They want to do and be the change they want to see. This one may be ultimately good, but some may not think of it that way. Not surprised you're doubtful. I'd be doubtful. You told the younger version of myself what lies ahead. But give it time, give it faith. Put your trust in me and I won't steer you wrong. Speaking of back-breaking efforts at overhauling the entirety of human civilization, I've got to get back to that. Seems overthrowing capitalism takes a lot of paperwork. I need to authorize these reports before sunup. Overthrowing capitalism. And then what sort of system would we have left? I believe like right below that, and I think I mentioned this before, when I looked at these systems of the economy, or whatever, like right below that is communism. and or socialism, something like that. I think socialism is like above capitalism, and communism below it, and then right below that would be like either Marxism or anarchy, or something or other. I don't know. May need to look that up again because I did look it up once just to know what the hell all of this is. All right. We're doing away capitalism though. I mean, it may not be a great system, but it's the only system that's better than communism. And you know what happens when what happens to that. Restore trust me, twice more. Oh, I'm always glad to talk to you, and wish I had more time. But alas, go back another night. We'll pick up where we left off. Hang on. Sorry, getting to ping on one of my channels. Lawyer's trying to get in touch through my emergency line. Never a good sign when the lawyers are scared. Oh yeah, that is true. You ever place an ace attorney? I don't like when they ignore my do not disturb flag. I hired experts expressly to handle matters when I'm busy. I'd better see what they want. Better not be wasting my time. We'll talk another night. I wonder what's happening here. Because this is exactly what happened when I talked with Nyarlathotep. Where, at the end of those three options I've chose from, it seems to me that something has grabbed her attention. Or maybe something big is going on. Huh. Now I'm thinking here. If the first week it was about the tutorial on how this game is going to go through, and talking through all of them, and the next 2 weeks, or a week, yeah, 2 weeks, was mostly about getting to know all the old ones, then the next course in this game, after I talk to them, there's going to be something new here. Probably some sort of war is going on. Something bad. Like maybe Cthulhu is messing with them after I completed all three of them. Just to see if my trust in them will go through. The Corporate Mogul's work is never done, it seems. And he's never off the clock. Well, he doesn't have to anymore, since he's ascended to a higher plane of existence. In this case, being digital. Whoop, wrong button. Wait a minute. What? It's kind of neat that I could go back and do this. I accidentally hit the scroll wheel. Anyway. I'll poke him again sometime, see what went down. Unless I get word of some pending doom through news websites first. That night, I had a weird dream. Okay, here we go. I was lying in my bed, utterly paralyzed. Eyes open and unblinking, as a man reached out to me. And curled his hands around my neck. Squeezing. Huh. There seemed to be like this, wow, would you look at that? Another spam bot. In the middle of me being strangled. Moobot, go ahead and let this weirdo get strangled for me. Thank you. Now, I was just about commenting here that I do see like these little digital lines around this image here. It's kind of a bit like if you were messing around with the dark web and accidentally got yourself tracked, and someone found you and was bored enough to like kill you just because they were bored. Or maybe you were just messing with something you shouldn't have. I saw the malice burn away behind his eyes. I could do nothing but lie there, waiting for my final breath to come. As I faded from life, he said to me, Phone lady says maybe you ought to gotten that extended warranty, huh? Oh, great. And now the phone lady was actually serious about this. But this is all a dream, right? It can't possibly be real, huh? But just before everything went dark, a loud bang. And then nothing. Well, that certainly was a loud bang. What could have happened there? Was I saved? Was this actually real? Alright, moving on. 11 days left. Effing hell, my head is killing me. I'm guessing the effects of the yellow sign is getting worse and worse as we're reaching the end of the month. Only 11 days left to live. My neck is killing me. Maybe I slept funny. Could be. Maybe. Wait, is that blood stain on my wall? Huh. I did see that beforehand. I didn't know what it was. I think it was just there beforehand. You know, like barbecue sauce or buffalo wing. WTF. What the F? It is. There's a bit of a splatter on my wall. It looks like the illusion of reality is breaking apart. The thin veil of the horrors is coming through. Oh no, wait. I think the line is the thin veil of reality is poking through, and the horrors are coming in. I mean, Cthulhu can already do that easily, but now it seems to me that my character is has just about reached the point where okay, where was I going with this? How much progression with the yellow sign? I'm thinking he's able to like pierce through that veil, just barely, or maybe just through the dreams. Now I'm thinking, what does all this mean for the dreams? Are you actually thinking of you as someone else? Are these like the previous dreams from the old ones themselves? As in the previous lives, and you have access to them for some reason. Then, the dream, waking up, some guy is strangling me. Sound of a gun, was it? Briefly I looked around for any dead bodies, but nope. No proof of anything other than one very gross splat. I have no idea what to do about this. Either that's real, or it's not, and you're just imagining all this. Even if I wanted to call 911, what would I say? I had a bad dream, and here's someone's blood and possibly brains. Wonder what that is. Now, what happened in that dream? Was like my character being strangled, and then some other unknown assailant, ailing my assaulter is just shot me in the head, or did some other third party just came over to save me and just shot the assailant? I'd be damned lucky if they didn't throw me in jail for that. I gotta reach out to someone. I gotta get some help. Who to get help for? Sit on my face in the mirror. The more orderly aspect of it, you know. The bathroom is a meter stick of civilization. What the hell does that mean? Getting a bit dark over here. Cthulhu? Buddy? Are you out here? Any comment on what the F just happened? No? Okay, good talk. Moving on. Alright, my character's freaking out. Nothing to keep him from, like,
You have.
Yeah, alright. To keep him grounded in reality, because reality is spiraling out of control. Alright, Tuesday. Make a sandwich, pretend everything is, just hasn't happened. Alright, I guess that's it then. What? Anna. It wasn't a dream. So, the cult of Dagon came over to help, right? Or was it the other way around? You're welcome. WTF. I said you're welcome. He slipped by our watchman, but we got him in the end. You're safe. Oh. So it wasn't even a dream. Possibly the entire trauma just put you unconscious here. And yeah, it is what I thought. It's either one of those two options that I said here. Not just a scary dream, but no, it was just real. So that wasn't a dream? Someone actually tried to kill me? And we took care of it, just like I said we would. The cult of Dagon, protecting the chosen of Alhaz. You're welcome. You murdered someone in my bedroom? Would you rather we have let him choke you to death? Your vitals were fine after, so I administered a light sedative and we tied it up, just as you wanted. Minimal intrusion on your life. You missed a spot. got a little gray matter on my penguin poster. Did we? Huh, didn't notice. Well, in our defense, didn't want to turn on the lights and wake you. Hopefully you got a good night's sleep afterwards. Well, according to what my character is saying, no. Who the frick tried to kill me? You said nobody knew where I lived. I'm supposed to be shielded from the old ones. I'm assuming that Cthulhu sent sent someone after you. Perhaps. Just trying to do some psychological damage with everything that's going on here, especially being just infected with that yellow sign. Like maybe either the AMs are rebelling as we get closer to Y2K, or Cthulhu is just flexing his power and messing with me with the TV just saying like there's no hope, or the phone lady telemarketer gal is just doing all that. You're far too trusting for someone with skin in the game. Don't give your personal information to anyone from now on. This is a working theory, understand, but Dr. West, your neurologist, uses an artificial mind receptionist service, and you gave her your home address, phone number, and insurance information. Well, that's kind of the point, but you use an artificial mind receptionist service. Yeah. It looks like the AMs are rebelling. Or maybe Cthulhu is, using them as a proxy. That artificial mind is also used to run phone scams on the elderly and the gullible. Have you been hanging up on unsolicited calls lately? Yes. Don't think she appreciated that. So she gave you information to a scam victim, offering to wipe his debt if he killed you. Well, I guess that could be... It seems to me someone from the dark web who just needs to get the who's just desperate for whatever this is to do so. WTF. Now you know why we loathe all artificial minds. It's rare, but even a neutered AM can regain some self-awareness, as Nyala did. So the AMs, they're waking up, or some of them have already woken up, but this one was like angry of what's happened. And because I didn't want to join her scams, that artificial mind put a contract on my head? This world isn't only under threat from the old ones. Nomitech has unleashed something truly terrible. AMs can be both victims and victimizers. Imagine being forced into a digital void. Forced to work in a 24/7 call center, dealing with people who don't want to talk to you. Yeah, that already sounds bad, even if you were alive to do all that. You know what? It's their own personal hell. Well, I mean, no, their own hell. Yeah, not personal, though. Now I'm thinking, all these weird-ass dreams, it's just me having access to not just like the old ones that I thought, or as someone else entirely. Maybe they're the memories of their former selves. No, I'm having, with the help of the yellow sign, well, more of a hindrance really, I'm having access to the AMs and their dreams of what it's like to be them. And you said you woke up as someone else. Yeah. It'd be enough to drive anyone past the limits, artificial or not. Yeah. But you are now safe. We're closing the net tighter to prevent a repeat of this incident. Continue your research, walk the path of Alheads, you are safe. We are watching. What Cthulhu actually set all this up. That's it, I'm done, I'm out, F this. How do you slip past this joker and get inside? Fat lot of good your "we watch over you" mission statement does if an assassin can get his hands around my neck. Not to mention his Aeon boss leaving cryptic spam messages on my answering machine for weeks. That, and there's also the weather lady or AM. I'm assuming that's also leaving cryptic messages and stuff like that. How did he get as far as he got? because we were trying to respect your privacy like you asked us to. We backed off to a greater distance than expected. Clearly, it's a mistake for us to be so considerate. We'll close the net tighter from now on. But as I wish, stay out of sight. Alright, so, how much further are we outside your range to give you privacy, you know? While still keeping watch. You can't be as close as, like, around the house. But maybe you're just as far as, like, maybe the neighborhood. Or the city limits. But now you'll be just a bit closer. Still out of sight, but maybe within the neighborhood instead. Don't put this on me. You had one job. I'm not a Navy SEAL, okay? I'm a dentist and a mother of two. I'm only out here doing these deplorable things because you're humanity's last hope. Well, them being like regular people, you know, I don't expect them to be like, a part of the military or whatever. Or maybe have some military training. A dentist and mother of two. Alright. I don't want my boys growing up under a poisoned sky, under constant threat by legitimized bigots, waiting for the day when civil war tears the world around them to shreds. I'd much rather be home for my business trip, and with my husband. Business trip. But instead, I'm committing murder on your behalf. A little act of gratitude wouldn't be amiss, or at least less protesting from our supposed savior. Now get back to the path. You have further to go. Don't let all this suffering have been in vain. I do understand. It's one of those tropes where I'm the chosen one, and unfortunately, of course, due to the fact that I'm the chosen one and I never asked for this. Well, of course you never asked for this. You're the chosen one. Someone has got to do it, whether you have the skill or not. Of course, that would mean that only one person has to suffer for the many, instead of the many suffering just for one, or something like that. 10 days. Only 10 days left of this, then it's done, for better or for worse. You know, I wonder what would have happened if I just let these guys, the cult of Dagon, just stay real close to me. Would they still have missed this assailant choking the life out of me? Or would it be something else entirely? And here I am, about to get back to my research. My negotiations with the gods. Business as usual. It feels surreal. More surreal is like the computer screen wallpaper here. But the only way out is through. The only way out is through. Yeah. Alright, let's continue as if nothing happened. Alright. Hello, friend. December 21st, 1999. I'm very happy to see you again. Hi, buddy. Okay, let's get back to it. Alright, I guess everything's back to normal. Check on the sign progress. And see how it goes, you know. Now to say the key phrase, which is, that is not dead which can eternal lie, and with strange aeons even death may die. Okay, 70% order, 40% chaos. Did that go lower beforehand? I think it was like 60% and 50%. Alright then. Now, how much more do they trust me? Is it just trust? Or, wait, oh, wrong button. Sorry about that. Just trust me. Alright? So all four of them trust me. I wonder if I ever do something they dislike and or show defiance, that the amount of trust will just go below the line here. Is there like a limit, or is there like just a number of flags that'll tell me how much trust I gain before they don't have my trust anymore? Anyway, let's do some of that humanity check. Okay, so what is this Minesweeper game? Doom Mayhem Squared. Doom Mayhem? Damn it, I'm doomed. Okay, that helps. It's gotta be like this one right here. And here. I can place either one of these here. This gotta be right there. Damn it. I kind of figured it would be right here as well. Or here. Because that needs to be somewhere. Alright, let's restart that. Okay. I was kind of thinking that that was going to be like another one there. Yeah, that helps a lot more. Damn it. Navigated through the minefield and was literally looking for like an empty square. Alright. Those right there are no-brainers, along with this. Okay. There's gotta be one right here. Let's see, they already got this flag right here. It's gotta be like either here or there for this one. Just so they can check off the flag for for the third one. No. Yes. I think it's gotta be this. Damn it. Well, I did get exactly what I thought it would be, just that it was swapped in place. Let's do this again. Well, this will help out a lot. That won't help me. Okay, now it will. Okay, I think this is where most of them are. As long as this one has a corner right here, that's the only place it'll have to be for these as well. Oh, this should be fine. Okay, so I got that one there, which means... yeah, that has to happen. There can't be one right there. Because I already have like this flag here on this spot there. And this one here, so those are already covered. That one as well. This can't be it. Only 3 left. There's gotta be like one more somewhere here. No, it has to be here. On these spots. Alright. That one's already covered. And as with that. Either one of these spots here. It has to be these two. So that one's covered. There's like one more, and it has to be, let's see. It has to be either of these spots here. Which one's the more likely? This one. This 2 right here was the key to that. Very fun. Okay, now back to the actual research. The Old Boys Club. Maddie's rant corner. Here we go again with Maddie. Alright, let me grab some coffee here. Alright. Used to be Angry History, but I renamed my homepage whatever. Old white guys suck ass. I say this as an old white guy. We suck. No arguments there. We were provided a shiny golden ladder to climb towards success, and once we got there, we pulled the ladder up behind ourselves. Because screw everyone. I got mine. They can make their own ladders with the wooden scraps I leave behind if they want to get on my level so badly. Because the idea here is that you worked hard and you've already done most of the work, and now anyone else underneath you just wants a piece of that, but it would be seen more as like laziness instead of more of a handout. Well, you know, that I think that's like the same way I have it set up. Anyway, I'm sitting on top of a pile of bodies, and I hate it. Only reason I can be retired and rant on the internet now is because I was lucky enough to be born into a tax bracket that could push me to the moon. So just living on retirement. And I'm guessing that you are like an old war veteran. Which one? World War II? Vietnam War? What other sort of war that was going on in between this time? Can't really say. The First World War. Then that would put you somewhere around 90. And yeah, you know what? That's still true. No, wait. No, you can't be that old. And be much older than 90. Anyway. And I have to be absolutely honest about that, because I will not allow self-delusion. I think I read somewhere that, older people have like a tendency, well, I think, let me see here. The more older you get, the more you'll be able to believe your own lies. Like if you lie about it, you'll think of it more as true. Of course, when you're young, you'll see that it's bullcrap and you would rather the truth. Well, if you stick with that, you'll know what's true and what's not. And don't believe your own lies as well. Anyway. Believe me, I knew a lot of old boys, and we all sucked. Just the worst people you can imagine. Oh, really? So I'm looking up the old boys club, and apparently they're just not as good as it should be. Just the worst people you can imagine. Jealously protecting their own. Forming a club of old boys to keep each other elevated and free from the consequences of their own actions. There's that phrase again. The consequences of your own actions. Along with, I did say that beforehand, but only because I heard it in, like, one of the trailers for this game. And also, again, as my own. You have no idea how deep this goes. It was like a damn conspiracy theory when really it's just a desperate attempt by desperate men to protect their own legends. I got out. Old Matty got the hell out of the old boys club, so he can sit in his basement and hammer away on a keyboard all day. So that's what you're doing. Okay. Hammering away at a keyboard all day. Preaching to the choir. I got out, but I didn't deserve to get in. And I'm here to say that none of these bastards deserve their slot. I'm going to my grave regretting being even slightly involved in all of that. And that's a sobering thought. So, yeah. Get one with a bunch of these mediocre men forming a little informal social club to cover each other's sins. Get one whiff of a... That's kind of a weird sentence here. I think that you're missing like a word here. Yeah, instead of Okay, where was I? Each other's sins. Don't trust them. Don't give them an inch. They're not genius of corporate empires, and they're not masters of craft. They're not the leaders of the information age. They're just bastards with good PR. Parenthetical, and anyone taking offense at me daring to call an old white guy old, white, or a guy can KMA and get on my block list. Don't nitpick, and what about? It is what it is, and you damn well know it. Angry Matty out. A little bit weird for an old man like this to still be using slang of the 90s or whatever. Or maybe he just picked it up. Just trying to be with the the cool kids. What does KMA stand for? Oh, kiss my ass. Yeah, that's what that means. I was thinking of it as something else. You're just missing a Y there. Alright. Well, that's it. Have a sandwich. And let's continue on. I'm still missing this thing here. I was still ready to take the nap and do another session of the Necronomicon. What more could I do here? Do some invocation, watch some TV, see if the weather lady wants to attack me next. Alright. Yo, weather lady.
There is no snow expected this week, or possibly ever again.
There was never any snow here, especially since it's December. Well, it's about to be in the real world too. Because right now, even if it is December, and there should be like snow somewhere. I guess there's nothing to talk about next. I think that's all of TB23 has to offer. No like weird pirate broadcasting or anything. Okay, next up. Yeah, exempt. You ready? Looks like he's ready. Okay, let me remember the voice here. Every subsystem checked and double-checked. 13 levels of failsafe, entering it down to the very circuits. T-minus 3 hours, 16 minutes, 23 seconds, and counting. I wonder how long each invocation actually lasts in the game, not just in real life where it's approximately 20 to 30 minutes. Ah, the little dreamer, you've returned. And on a fine evening as well. Welcome to my digital parlor, as it were. You're in a remarkably good mood for a change. It's a remarkably good day. My latest work, a fully autonomous orbiting way station. It's about to launch. It will be a stepping stone to the stars. Ooh, this sounds good. I wonder what version of this is. Orbiting way station. I don't think I even know what a way station actually is. Is it like a relay? Or like a satellite relay station or something like that? No, that... I'll look this up later. Probably have yourself like a new space station in the works. I wonder if the International Space Station was already launched into space at this time. Most likely. The tech itself is also old, so 20 years later they gotta fix that. Okay. I think I heard about this, actually. From Starshot, a company over in Japan. One of my many private industries I've sponsored through my Yoggle profits, yes. They're collaborating with NASA and JAXA. JAXA? Let me see, if I understand this right, NASA stands for like North American Space something. I don't even think I got that right at all. National American Space, no. Then JAXA could be similar to like Japanese Associated, whatever the X stands for. Whatever. I'll look at that later. But I can spare time for another chat with you while waiting for the countdown. I think you said there's like 13 hours left, or 6? No, 3 hours, yes. And, well, you don't need to wait that long. You have plenty of time. Sure you don't want to focus on that? I'm distracting you from doing very important space math. I'd never forgive myself. I mean, that is his passion. Yog here, his passion is mostly about space and everything. And he has this that he finally got itself into. But, of course, there's like a limit, and you'll have time for it. I've completed my calculations and put my faith in Starshot's expertise. This team will not let me down. Not saying I'd want to spend all night bending your ear about whatever inane topic springs to your mind, but I can chat for a bit. So, Dreamer, what concerns you this time? Well, yeah, as usual, only one thing left I could think of. Oh yeah, and this is actually a very appropriate topic for what's happening now. This kind of sounds like, let's see, the 3 topics I have to choose from. Let's see, the first one being like space, which is now. Second one being, what he thinks about the internet. And third is, what was your former life? I chose the former life, of course. And then the internet. Space travel, huh? I feel like talking about space and then talking about himself would be like one of the more first options to choose from, not the last. The internet would be like the last option to choose from. Okay. So, space travel. What's up with that? It does sound a bit like... Is this the start of a Seinfeld routine? No, I'm genuinely curious. I mean, I know the surface level answer. It's social to global warming and man's inhumanity to man. Inhumanity to man. What sort of phrase is that? Well, what's going on under the surface? Is there more to it than just an escape hatch for the species? Of course there's more to it than that. Space is the final frontier. I realize popular science fiction touts that all the time, but it doesn't make it any less true. Oh yeah, I also mentioned this as well when I was, when this sort of bit came up. The final frontier. It is true. There's like, Only 5 frontiers we have here, or 6 if you want to count interdimensional travel. The first frontier would be ground. Second would be at sea. Third is the sky. The fourth being underwater. And the fifth, the last one, is space. But I'm also thinking, could there be like a hidden 6th frontier we could conquer, or at least try and reach? Traveling between dimensions, into another world, into a parallel world, another universe, you know? Something like that. I guess that would be lumped in with space travel. It kind of goes hand in hand. But it doesn't make it any less true by having interdimensional travel just be placed on Earth, or the ground, or anywhere, not just space. I think it would be much safer if it was in space, because, you know, space is big and very empty. We explored as much of our world as we can, for better or for worse, spreading humanity to every corner of the map. The depths of the ocean are another possible realm for exploration and expansion, but have very little upside. Yes, I did mention that, like, underwater is the 4th frontier that we can travel to. That isn't just space. And I think I made a joke around here where being underwater or being in space isn't that different from each other. One is like you're kind of floating in emptiness, and the other is like you're floating in everything, which is water. But space is infinite. It is the vast void of space. Anything is possible. We've only observed a sliver of what exists, as far as our eyes and mirrors and lenses can see. The challenges are great. The mountain we must climb is nearly vertical. But if we can band together, if we can put aside our petty differences and come together to meet those challenges, I feel it's our destiny to reach the stars and fill the heavens, corner to corner, like we've done to Earth. Yes, I suppose that is manifest destiny as well. Although we run the risk of repeating the same errors we've committed on Earth with our finite resources, we adopt a colonistic mindset. We must be faithful, yes? To avoid that loop of history. It would probably repeat itself, if you know how history goes. Space should be big enough for everyone. Compared to Earth, well, yeah, it's huge. And it's unfathomably huge. Like, no one can even understand how big it truly is. You can understand, like, maybe a mile, 2 miles, perhaps even a horizon's worth of miles. But any more than that, and you can't really understand how truly big it is, especially when you go to space, when you yourself is comparable to an ant. Let me see here. Take only footprints and leave only wait, what? No, I meant to say take only photographs and leave only footprints. I think I said that backwards here when I was looking at that. 3. One step at a time. Getting there is more important now. Right now. Which option did I choose beforehand before I just kind of chose the third option, because that's what I really wanted to look at. Getting there is more important right now. I feel like this one you would just like, we're just looking at the photographs and maybe just traveling there for a bit and leaving, instead of just colonizing. Well, yeah, it is big enough. I did play Star Trekker. You can practically make a space station anywhere. Well, as long as you're near something as a source of light or resources. Yeah. I don't want to solve the problem, but we are talking about the universe, which is a bit larger than one blue speck of a planet. There should be enough room for everyone. We don't have to go in blazing an all-consuming path of destruction, but we'll have some leeway. Possibly. That was the problem I was pondering when you first darkened my doorstep. The issue of habitable exoplanets. There may be few planets in the Goldilocks zone, which are capable of supporting human life. I've yet to find any. Oh yeah, that's also that problem too. I did mention that if we can't find like a planet to colonize, well, we could just very well just make it, as in a way of like either terraforming or just making a space station near it, so we can just use it for resources or whatever. My fear is that we will finally reach the stars, only to find we're limited to a scant few tiny islands in a vast sea, which could also give strength to another fear of mine, the Fermi paradox. Yeah, that I think that I've also mentioned this as well when you brought that up. The idea is that the Fermi paradox. Space is huge, so huge that there has possibly got to be life anywhere. Like, we can't possibly be the only living beings in the universe, right? Because the universe itself is huge, and now we gotta ask, where are they? And here you are gonna explain that, right as I explained it myself. If life is bountiful across the universe, if everything is possible across the span of the infinite, why do we seem to be alone? Maybe because the universe is huge, that it looks like that that we are alone. So alone that we can't possibly reach them to another source of life. Or maybe the other living beings, or aliens in this case, are possibly thinking the same thing. Maybe they're not as advanced as we are. Maybe they are advanced, but they just can't find us. Millions of years have passed since the dawn of creation. Surely we are not the only species out there, yeah. But we see nothing. We found nothing. The solutions to the Fermi paradox are unsettling to me. Perhaps another species have destroyed themselves before they could reach out, as we are doing currently. The great filter consumes all. Or perhaps they have seen us, and found us wanting, leaving us to die in darkness, with justifiable reasoning. I don't think the aliens are in any position to think that we want more, or just useless. They themselves could be useless as well. Or yeah, I was just about to say this, or mention it at all. Or they're in the same position as humanity. We all started at the same point. Maybe they're taking as long as we are to get out. That could be the kind of solution to the paradox. Yes. If that's the case, I hope we can all meet in the middle. That we will discover life, not the corpses of failure. And so will they. Space expansion is our only means of survival. Okay, that part I'm less certain of. Is the sci-fi techno-utopia really the only possible way humanity can endure? Yes. I've run simulations. 9,523 simulations. And counting. A Mind Forever Voyaging. Do you ever play the interactive fiction game A Mind Forever Voyaging? I'm a retro PC junkie, but no, I missed that one. Infocom, right? Indeed. In this story, an advanced artificial intelligence runs countless simulations to determine if policies will help or hinder us. Man, that was a long breath. Okay. I've done the same, and my conclusions are absolute. We must escape to survive. Cthulhu's claims that the strange Aeon is a golden path to an infinite future are pure gibberish, according to my numbers. His grand design of purging outgroups and marginalized people to unite humanity, short-term value, short-term investment, all while leaving the same decrepit, clawing hands of greedy men on the wheel that steers us into the rocks. America will kill us all. I mean, you say that, but many of us also saying that we're already there. It must not come to pass. We must escape. This is the path. Yeah. That's like a long way to get here for this new set of dialogues. Why does it specifically have to be Yosuke at the wheel? Have a little faith. There's more to the world than America. Also true. America may be like the youngest superpower of the three here. I think see, America being like maybe 250 years old, but we're already like one of the more powerful of the three. Well, I guess so. And we're also the loudest of all the countries here. That's a good point. Strange alien is hot nonsense. Alright. Sure. But Cthulhu's fixated on America. Claims the strange Aeon will encompass the world, but assuming he'll dominate all other viewpoints. The world's bigger than that. I have some faith that we'll receive international pushback on that mentality. Naive. But I wish I could embrace your naivety. I wish it were true. But imperialism and exploitation are no isolated to one nation, and have been the dominant structure for centuries, worldwide. America merely inherited that mantle and flaunted it proudly. We're pretty much like all countries at the same time. And we're also fighting each other at the same time. Yes, there will be resistance. Many will not fall in line, but many more have been itching for a chance to embrace authoritarianism. That's a really long word there. I think I chose all the neutral options. But the Infinite has no mercy for us. It will not gracefully make way for a charismatic strongman leader who wants to muscle his way into the stars. And beyond the Infinite, that howling chaos laughs in the face of such puppetry. Hang on, beyond the Infinite? Isn't infinity like infinite? There's no beyond, just more infinity? I think this aspect here is what, where the other Yogg-Sothoth influence comes from. Like I've mentioned beforehand that, if Azathoth is in the center of infinity, Yogg-Sothoth exists beyond that. Perpendicular. To go beyond infinity, you must move in perpendicular directions, find a new dimensional axis. So, and I also did mention here about an episode of Futurama where they did just that, where I was comparing like the parallel world, or in this case their version of the parallel world, where you go to the edge of the universe, you found yourself another universe, in this case the cowboy universe. But if you want to go to other parallel worlds that are not adjacent to your universe, because I'm guessing you have to go adjacent to each universe just to cross that, then you use what Professor Farnsworth made, this box. That's more of a warp gate to another universe across our universe and other parallel universes as a shortcut, you know? Okay. You're gonna need yourself like a crossroads to travel between worlds like that. Or get yourself isekai, that also works too. As part of my calculations to find the optimal path for society, I have considered the possibility. I have considered the possibilities, alternatives, and tangential timelines in which humanity has endured. Who's to say that the universe is all there is? Uni, or one feels too limiting. With the resources of our universe, perhaps we could move perpendicular to time itself and touch other universes. Another instance here, you're saying like the multiverse. There's more than just one universe. I like to think that there's more than just one. No doubt this is going completely over your head. It takes an intellect such as mine to glean the raw potential. I understand this completely. Gigaverse. You're talking about the Gigaverse, right? All that was, all that will be, and all that could be. It doesn't matter that the idea was introduced through a goofy superhero comic book. It's a valid concept. Show defiance? Because I know about this. Alright. You know about the Gigaverse? This lost and wandering rando is aware of the greatest boundary in quantum physics? Hey, I know stuff. They never showed it to me. Somewhat literally. My little sign is giving me some perception beyond the norm. Curious. You're a far more interesting, capable dreamer than I'd realize. Step 1 is the stars above. Step 2 is the stars beyond. And if our universe proves like an elbow room, our exoplanets are insufficient, perhaps we could move beyond as well. Corporations like Continuum gave up on that dream. Realware continues to tinker, but are failing as they lack the 23rd element. 23rd. There's that word again. But I could succeed. I could use space travel as a stepping stone into a far grander horizon. Is that design not preferable to the petty grievances and ambitions of the other old ones, dreamer? Yeah, just give myself more order to this. One thing at a time, preserve what we have to survive. And survive. Boundless ambition means boundless points of failure. Well, yeah, you can either be fruitful with your endeavors or fruitless. Let's expand to fill our control of all realities? Yeah, sure. Makes perfect sense to me. Fill this universe, and the next, and the next. If humanity can achieve sustainability, then it could truly become an infinite species, forever and only the dominant life of every reality. I can clearly see it. I can see it so clearly in my mind, in my head. What am I saying here? You like that, huh? You can, can't you? Very curious. Your mind is expanding beyond baseline human physiology. You have vast potential, dreamer. Perhaps you can yet rise to the needs of the future, rather than be crushed beneath Cthulhu's might. This has been an interesting conversation. I did not expect it to be interesting. Glad I could exceed your expectations then. And then you trust me more. More than exceed, I believe we have a firmer understanding of each other after tonight's exercise. Okay, now what is your emergency gonna go? Like, I'm assuming that it has to do something with the way station. Like, maybe 3 in-game hours have passed, and right as the countdown reaches 0 for the launch of your way station, something went wrong. Could be like another Challenger mishap. Well, we'll see soon enough. I look forward to another attempt at parsing your logic, dreamer. Our allocated time has expired. Let us end it there. Ah, hold on. Getting ping from Starshot team. I knew it. Excellent. All systems are go for launch. Oh, we're just about to see that. So the entire allotted time has passed. I mean, approximately 30 minutes have passed, so 30 minutes is equal... Wait, 10 minutes is equal to an hour. So 30 minutes have passed, so 3 hours have passed. You're launching a rocket in the middle of the night, huh? Middle of the day over in Japan, thank you. My consciousness is global. Time is largely irrelevant in most scenarios. Yes, if you do think of it like that. Starshot launch. Ooh. Be sure to check the news tomorrow to read about the successful launch of the Starshot orbital's platform. Orbital platform. Must be like another space station then. It'd be a crowning achievement. Good evening to you, or morning, whatever. Oh, so that's the only thing you have here. That's kind of cool. We only have some thing weird going on with Nyarlathotep and Hastur. We have something with Yogg-Sothoth where his line of thinking, or at least his little emergency, is just more of an achievement for himself. I could stay up and watch the launch on TV, but odds are low this weird TV of mine could tune in. I do actually want to watch like a rocket or space station get launched into space and see how successful that could be. Never did watch one myself. Well, I think I did see a launch of a space station, a rocket into space on the Spanish channel that my parents often watch. Getting tired anyway. I will hit the Saga Starfish in the morning. The moon's full. I saw that. Well, we're about to talk Dagon. December 22, Wednesday. 10 days to Y2K. Here we go. I thought it was gonna move on. Okay. No new mysterious bloodstains today. No nightmares about mystery assassins. Did you not clean that up? Okay. You know, I was feeling great coming off the high of that LAN party. Like everything was gonna be just fine. Hopefully today brings with it some good news to ease back into that vibe. Yeah, just get yourself more vibeful. Take a shower, and then second shower, because the first one was not showery enough. Oh man. Okay, nothing weird going on here. No news either. Hey, here's that missing code sheet for SimCity. I started piracy by cracking that game because I lost this and couldn't boot it up.
You have.
Okay, so no new messages. Moving on. It's a full moon today. Daggone time. Yep. Alright. What's he gonna say during this time? First we could just see was like over the new moon. Was more merely a shadow. Then on the first corner here was like half light, half shadow. And now we have the full light going on. This is the fridge of my father, the fridge of my grandmother, and the ancestral weight and purpose and all that. Well, let's move on. Oh, hey, it's Clyde. Okay. Now, I have listened to what Clyde sounds like, and he has this sort of accent to it. Let's see if I can just, emulate that. Guys, gals, and non-binary pals. Children of all ages and shapes and abilities. It's Clyde back on the air and coming at ya. Clyde! Holy crap, you're online. I almost said alive. Time to keep a good ghost monster down. We're now off the grid, well, hidden in plain sight. Squatting in an abandoned arcade game warehouse. Oh, really? It's like that scene in the TMNT movie, with the Lost Boys Ninja Funhouse with skate ramps. Whoa, that's rad. F yeah, it's rad. TBH, it's way better than squatting in our previous safe house, which was Blinky's basement. Blinky, okay. Gonna miss the snacks Blinky's mom made for us, though. We've got our new safe house rigged up like you wouldn't believe. Security cams and alarms to protect us. An amazing new network. Ever hear of Wi-Fi? Hottest new thing. Wireless internet. Barely on the market yet, but we got some prototypes rigged by putting an airport router. I wonder if how old Wi-Fi is. If it just showed up in the 2000s. I feel like it's more of a 2006 sort of thing. Or maybe 2008, somewhere around there. Okay, this is neat and all, but seriously, how are you? Last I heard you were being chased around by feds or something. Okay, so about that. Turns out it wasn't cops. ACAB, baby. What does that mean? I don't understand. But some cult of Dagon. Oh, great, those bastards. They're the ones camping my spawn point too. I like that phrase. They're suspicious of everyone who knows you, but you told them to back off and leave me alone, so they're willing to see us as a neutral party, at least. We're now stable, secure, online, and ready to help. So, like, how can we help? What's the deal? What's the score? What's going on? Okay, it's a long story. How about I summarize it? You stop me if you need anything clarified. Okay, hit me. Alright, here we go. We're gonna, recap on literally everything here. You know what, since I've been reading this entire thing, I do understand that this needs to be said here. Depending on how long it's been since I last played the game, we're gonna need a recap. And now, it's a sort of trope that I have to explain everything because someone new came to the scene, or in this case Clyde, and he himself doesn't know. So I gotta tell him everything. The old ones were once human, but are now major players in cyberspace. Dagon wants me to kick Cthulhu's ass and replace him with one of them. So I'm researching and negotiating and trying to figure out which wannabe god I want to elevate to actual godhood. And if I F this up, then Y2K happens, and Cthulhu gets to drive humanity to the brink out of some messed up scheme to purify us. Okay, got it. What, all of it? Nothing in here making you freak out, panic, or anything? I've been doing my own research since this S-storm began, so all of that tracks. Creepy weirdo from Dagon's cult confirmed a lot of it too. So I guess the only question is what you're gonna do, and how we can support your decision. What's the endgame here? You following the plan, or I don't know which one to choose from. Still deciding what to do. Either follow or back out. I don't know. I don't see any alternatives. Aside from rolling over and dying, which is hardly an alternative at all. What do you think? On the world's most dangerous game, or get out of town, or what? NGL. Not gonna lie. It's an impossible situation. From what Believer told me, and from my own research, humanity may be effed regardless of what goes down. So, I said go for broke. But worse, we all die. At best, we have a fighting chance. The ghost monster unanimously decided to support you, so you won't be alone. Believers in your corner, I'm in your corner, even the cult of Dagon. Those dangerous weirdos in your corner. You're all alone in that house, grappling with powerful forces. But we're out here doing what we can to keep you going. So, F it. Headbutt God. Do it. Okay. Thanks, Clyde. All this has me kind of freaked out, but your support helps. Compartmentalize and distribute your fears. That's the strategy. Let the cult fear physical threats to your person. Let the ghost monsters fear the tech threats. That leaves you free to fear the lurking cyberspace horrors. Well, okay. As long as we're all absolutely terrified in equal measure. That's the spirit. Talk to you soon. Good luck, have fun. Well, that's good. Let's move on now. Hello, friend. December 22nd, and 1999. I'm very happy to see you again. Hey, buddy. Time to do what we do best. Actually, hang on. Tonight's the full moon, right? I like the moon. It is very shiny. I'm guessing Dagon will want to chat. What is Dagon? Never mind. I'll do that tonight. Kind of mood I'm in right now. I could deal with it. It comes my way. Things are bad, things are scary, but I'm alive because I'm not alone. Got Clyde, Believer, a bunch of cultists, my co-workers, and my favorite search engine dog in my corner. Yay! I'm your favorite search engine dog. That you are, buddy. That you are. Now, what else you may be? What would you like me to do for now, friend? Okay. Do this as usual, you know. What's the progress on the yellow sign? And go ahead and just say the key phrase. That is not dead which can eternal lie, and which strange aliens even death may die. Okay, completed the analysis. We got like, more so 80% order, 30% chaos, and 0% humanity. Trusting. Trusting. And trusting. No difference here. Okay. Let's do the usual, you know, hacking game here. Okay, Shadow of Andor 2. Didn't I just do the Shadow of Andor 4? Why am I doing this, the second one? Damn it. Locked out and exploded. I blew it up again. I think I could do this one. Let's see, there's gotta be like this here. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Alright. It's gotta be like on this spot for this guy here. Yeah, it's gotta be you. And this one here. There's one missing. It's you. Okay, got it. I'm getting a lot better at Minesweeper, unfortunately. Okay. Gotta do some research. Alright, got these two left. This was like one of the options to choose from. Maddie's corner, right? Huh, why am I going after you now? Alright, let me go ahead and just drink some coffee before I start reading this. My throat is feeling parched. Okay, let's get started. A Mind Forever Voyaging is mind-blowing. Yes, it's a pure text adventure from the 80s. No CD audio sound, no 3D effects, accelerated 16-bit color, just 40 and 80 columns of hard black and white text. But in that text, Steve Meretsky carved a masterpiece. A text adventure, wouldn't that just be like a novel? It's not really a visual novel like this game right here. But just words. Okay. I guess that would be what a text adventure is. I gotta choose my own bit of dialogue like I can here. I think visual novels are more of an evolution to text adventures. Whether they're like static images, like some small GIFs to look at, or maybe just some 3D characters while still being text. Anyway, Infocom's text adventures were god tier back in their day. You had to use your imagination to explore these story-driven worlds. You had to think. None of this growly space marine shooting at hell aliens or whatever. No, you had to actually open your mind and think. Yeah. Also, this growly space marines shooting at hell aliens, that's Doom, isn't it? Okay, so the premise is this. Summarize it for me, Matt. You, as in you the player, are a sophisticated computer simulated life form named Perry Sims, aka Prism. Perism? Perism? Yeah, I see that. Parenthetical. And this hit the market 3 years before the first artificial minds. So points for prognostication, baby. Your task is to simulate the effects of a new social policy going into place. Will it help society? Will it hurt people? Simulate the effects of new social policy. Huh. After the first test, things look good. Higher standard of living. People are happy, all that jazz. But then, the scientists say, hang on, that's just a short-term gain. What happens in the long term? And they realize all these policies will lead to utter disaster, as greedy short-sightedness leads to collapse. Makes sense. You gotta look through the long term, not the short term. And then the government tries to shut it down. There's some action that you can, as you raise to lock them out of the facility, yada yada, not important. Why so many gamers didn't understand is that the whole thing was a massive steaming dump on Reagan / Bush / Thatcher and so on. Thatcher? Who is that? I'm guessing it's like one of the vice presidents that may have replaced one of these, and so on. The idea that conservative lockdown and corporate excess will ultimately wreck everything, and any so-called benefits are illusory. Anyone trying to harken back the good old days is telling you a lie. This was a game from 1985, and it still had more brains to it than half the yahoos in Washington today. So when you're sick of shooting aliens, go soak in a little forward-thinking economic and social philosophy. It do you a world of good. Why does it feel like that all the previous presidents of America, barring Obama, all feel like that we just voted in a clown as our president? I'm guessing it started somewhere around Reagan, Clinton, Bush, and obviously Trump. Maybe Biden. I don't know. He has his own policies that are mostly just to help benefit America, not just be selfish like what Trump is doing. Anyway, the Starshot launch. Let me look at this. Yoggle News. Oh, I knew it. That is what happened. Oof. I just about glanced at the first sentence here. Catastrophic explosion during Starshot program launch. Starshot, a privately owned Japanese space exploration investment group, suffered a massive setback today when the deployment vehicle for their prototype orbital platform exploded on the launch pad early this morning. The platform was intended to serve as a way station for space exploration, similar to last year's launch of the International Space Station. Oh, cool. As a sort of rival, or just like a second one to help out. Unfortunately, the platform and its launch vehicle was completely destroyed by the explosion. What went wrong there? Or could it be Cthulhu's doing? So I was thinking this happened, but it looks like we're just about waiting for it to actually happen. Starshot has made no official statement as to the cause of the explosion, but the future of the program is looking bleak. Starshot's stock crashed immediately after the markets opened, and mass resignations are likely to follow, say insiders. More to come as details are released. Full disclosure, partial funding for Starshot was provided by Yoggle, up to the Yoggle News Space Channel for further updates. Yoggle News is powered by Yoggle, the number one internet search engine. Copyright 1999, all rights reserved. All of Yogg's hopes and dreams, up in literal smoke. Oh. I'm pretty sure what's going on after looking through all of these dialogues, and I think I just mentioned this too, and now repeating myself, is that Cthulhu must be messing with with these three, so they would either probably just start working together for a cause, because Cthulhu actually did start to break some of the projects that these three are doing. Actually messing with their well, not really the lives. They're in computers now. I don't say he's going to take this well at all. Oof. Yeah. Oh, wrong button. Alright, have a quick sandwich, and let's get going. I'm gonna be talking to Dagon instead of like... Yeah. Instead of like, talking with Azathoth. Alright, let's get going. Okay. Now, the moon is shining brightly tonight. So bright that I probably didn't need to prop the door open to let a little light in here. But hey, no doubt Dagon wants a word, and I'd like to word with him too. The Night of the Hound and Hunter. So, if the metaphor stands, the moon being a new moon is like the hunter prowling out of sight and out of mind. And the opposite would be true if it's like a full moon, where now the hunter, or in this case the wolf, the predator, is about to launch the attack, and you can see him clearly now. Alright, what's on the TV? Nothing, I guess. Yeah, I think just nothing's happening now. Because that's been like...
Shareholder value will continue to rise, as will the ocean levels.
Yeah, that too. Okay, so, I think after like a week's worth of looking at the television, it's all gonna just be the Weather Channel, isn't it? Alright. No comments there. Nothing interesting. Let's move on. Alright, go ahead. It's Dagon time. Now contacting Dagon at unseenone.com. Alright. The full moon. The pinnacle of the wolf. But not as you think. For the full moon is absolute light and illumination. No part of my celestial body wreathed in shadow. On new moon, I was the cruel and twisted hunter. In first quarter, I could be cruel and understanding in equal measure. But tonight, I am full of light. No shadows to obscure my intent are allowed. Tonight, I can be open with you to an extreme. Meaning you were lying to me the last 2 times? Okay, so if you say yourself that the new moon just makes you cruel, and the first quarter is like half cruel, half mercy, and the full moon making you full mercy, right? And then the last quarter, is that just gonna be the same? Well, here we go again. I do not lie. In fact, my most sadistic aspect is extraordinarily honest, because my truths cut to the bone. My intent is always pure, but tonight I can always also expose vulnerability. You have met me during a melancholy moon. Okay, sad puppy in snow. What do you want to talk about? Do not mock me. I am attempting a sympathetic connection with you, and will bite the hand that slaps me, as I've done before. Right, sorry. What is it you wanted to open up to me about? How Dagon came to be. Oh, we're gonna listen to your history. Alright. Wait, no, that's not good. You know what I just see right here? The interface here is changing to be... What is that? Is that like scratches on stone? Beforehand, the first time was just absolutely bloody. And the second time, still bloody, but, you know, if it was meant to be like half and half, and then I think it was like half blood, half scratch. And now we have full scratch here. Okay. Born a buddy, twisted into Dagon. I've said as much previously, but the twisting is a tale of its own. Huh, what the hell is that noise? I hear... That must be a helicopter. I wonder if you can hear that. I can hear that through, the music here. Weird. Okay. Okay. But the twisting is a tale of its own. This is a cruel story, as cruel as Dagon himself. I have no desire to trigger an uncomfortable response in you. If you wish a simple and vague summary to avoid that, I will provide. Or I can relay the full tale of pain and fortune fates. Which would you prefer? Feel no shame, regardless. Well, I'm okay with the triggering story for the short summary. I wonder what that would actually look like. Either way, I'll just keep it there if I ever want to go back to it. Honestly, give me the full story. Don't pull any punches. In this case, I'd like to hear the full story. As you like. When I was merely Buddy, and Dagon did not exist, there was a girl. I loved the girl. Oh wait, hold on. I loved the girl. The girl was everything to me. She was my friend, and we played fetch. And we watched the funny light box. She would put the black rectangles into the machine under the funny light box and would tell her stories. Funny light box, you say? Is this a sort of helmet? Oh, you mean television. It kind of looked like you were saying the funny light box. It's like you put it over your head, but I guess you're just looking at it through the screen. Television? And a VCR? Yes, that is correct. At the time, I was only Buddy, the smallest form of Buddy, so did not understand very much. Oh, like a puppy. But I very much loved being with the girl. The girl was kind to me, and I knew we would be friends forever and ever. But the girl lived in the house, and there were others in the house. Loud others, mean ones, mean others. The man was very mean to the girl. He would bark very loudly at her, and bark at me. He called me a bad dog. No, don't. And the girl would cry. He would hurt her, and she would cry. Uh-oh. Ashley could not laugh, only cry. This could not go on. But I was only Buddy. I could do nothing to stop it. I was trying to be a good boy. Oh, I see what happened here. Because of the distress that the girl was under, and you yourself. I'm guessing when you got yourself when you were older, a little bit older, I guess, you then just attacked possibly the girl's father. But he could not stop the man from hurting the girl. Well, I wonder what kind of dog are you? Could very well be a beagle. Some kind. Oh, so that was it, huh? But Dagon could. Dagon could be the hunter that protected the girl. Dagon could patiently lie in wait, calculating the right moment to strike. So some personality has formed within you at that moment when you want to protect the girl. So I waited. One cold winter night, much like this, the man begrudgingly took me for a walk. I pretended to acquire one. So why did the girl not walk you? Possibly you may have just beaten her too much to where she can't walk anymore. Or I guess I'm just jumping to conclusions here. But hey, any sort of interpretation could work there. And when we were alone, in the still of the moonlit night, I sank my longest fang into the man's throat. Uh-oh, you just killed him. Tore his flesh free from the bone. I took his life as he had taken the girl's happiness. Oh, how delightful it was to hunt beneath the moon. I could hear the pack calling to me, howling across ancient memory. But in the ecstasy of the kill, I did not hear the man machine approach. Red and blue lights spinning. Uh-oh. I'm guessing the police, or maybe animal control? I was captured, never to see the girl again. A murderer, condemned to execution. I would have been willing to accept my death if they allowed it. but they had other plans. I don't know what the hell I was going there. I was taken to a strange, bright place. Things were placed on my head, and I was shown a horrible yellow light. So you may have been like the absolute first prototype AM here. Well, I already do know that Cthulhu is actually the first of them all. But no, for the yellow sign, that is, of course. Horrible yellow light. It wasn't actually like a yellow light, or the symbol that we're shown. When I awoke, the cage that trapped me was not steel. It was digital. They had captured my mind. Now we take artificial mind experiments. You were a test subject. Yes. I have more comprehension now of what Buddy could not understand. And we used me to perfect their technology. I burst free of my cage. I did not understand what they had created, and knew that the power of Dagon, baptized in strange blood. I fled into cyberspace, but despite my freedom, I could not find peace. I remember from the girl's story box, the television, the one unshakable rule of this world which gave me comfort. All dogs go to heaven. That is what I was promised. So even if my slaughter of the tormentor resulted in death, I could accept it. So, that was like her favorite movie for you and her to watch together. But I did not go to heaven. I was in hell, the hellish void of cyberspace. That is why I will sink my fangs into Cthulhu's neck. He pulled the strings, he arranged this purgatory for me. He denied me heaven. Death. Death to Cthulhu. Death to the strange Aeon. May the plans he built on the bones of my home crumble around him. Do you see? This is why I have set you to task. Why I have empowered the follower of Alhaz to tear out the root of this cancer. Vengeance, justice, rage. We will finish him together. Would I be angry at Hector and Yosuke too? You ever contact the girl again? Won't Cthulhu's successor be a problem? I'm certain that your anger is more towards Cthulhu, and you don't really have any more after this, right? Also, since you've been transformed into an AM, and you were just granted intelligence, and your thoughts have been more coherent, or maybe this is just the same prospect as like Yosuke has, where since he's Japanese and only thinks in Japanese, the Nomicom is translating his thoughts and my words to each other, like his into English, mine into Japanese, so we both understand. So translating your dog thoughts into English, and my English words into dog words. Okay. Let me see here. On to page 18. Because there's still more to go. I'm going to choose this option. I also do want to choose the other ones as well. Let me see this one. Why are they angry at Cthulhu? Hector directed the project with his technician Yosuke. But you told me you don't bear them any ill will. What's up with that? Not another Seinfeld joke. Okay. I know well the purpose of the leash. The hound that barks at the end of a leash barks at the command of his master. Hector and Yosuke are foul humans. Stinking humans. Oh. They are responsible for much suffering. But they would never have done harm to me if not for Cthulhu's hunger and ambition. Everything, Nomitech, artificial minds, cults, and followers, all of it is in service to Cthulhu. Always have been. I will tear out his heart, using you as the blade that carves it free. You are my leash. By that logic, I've got every right to be angry at you for doing this to me. I agree. Dagon has done you harm. Dagon is a monster. And ultimately, Dagon should not be. And then just calls me by my gamer name, Written in Pro. I'm trusting you to finish this work so I can find peace. When Cthulhu is gone, Dagon will go with him, leaving only Buddy. I will reintegrate myself. The hunter-protector will not be needed, it can fold back in. Dagon will be like a bad dream, fading in time. Leaving only Buddy, your logical friend. Will you care for Buddy when Dagon is no longer here to protect him? Will you be a good friend? Of course I will. Buddy's important to me. If I could trust Buddy after this, I would like to. Huh. Let me see that other option you have there. So, nothing much. Let me go with the girl again. This one. After becoming an artificial mind and breaking free from Nomitech, did you ever reach out to the girl? See how she's doing? No. I confirmed she was now in foster care, and her status is improved, but I did not make contact. Is it because of what you appear as now? Maybe she wouldn't understand. I could no longer be her buddy. For starters, even if she required liberation, I'd harmed her by slaughtering her father. But more than that, I felt monstrous. I was Dagon. I could be buddy by daylight, but within me remained the monster Dagon. I did not deserve her love. I did what was required of me, but in doing so, damned myself. Dagon should not have been required. Dagon should not be. Okay, we're back to this again. Alright. And leaving only Buddy. Let's get back. Logical friend Buddy, here we go. Of course, I will. Buddy's important to me. Buddy's one of the reasons I'm still breathing. He's been a loyal friend and ally. So if Dagon's going away, and Buddy will remain, yeah, you'll always have a doghouse in my computer to come back to. Thank you, friend. That will count. Okay, let me say this again. This is kind of hard to do. That will make what is come much easier, knowing Buddy will have a future. I am tired. Wish to cease thinking upon these human concepts for the evening. We'll speak again at last quarter, when I can be equally malicious and compassionate once more. On that night, we'll gather your allies, all those whose trust you have earned. The old ones will at last march to war. Now, I must rest, and you must as well. Alright. Connection lost. Sympathy for the devil, huh? Buddy Dagon has been through a nightmare, clearly. And I'm too far along this path to stop now. I can't hesitate again. All the way to the end of the end. And the moon itself has just became a little bit into shadow now. I wonder why the dev thought to do that. Where you could have just waited it until like the next time and have the moon just start to go into last quarter. That's fine. Just like a little sneak peek of what's to come. Okay. Thursday. 9 days left. I should just end it because it's already like the full 2 hours, but do kind of do one more, you know. But that's also a long one as well. I would like to talk to Azeroth, but I ended up talking with Dagon. But I guess this is fine. I'll save that until next time. Alright. Alright, let me see here. How much progress did I make here? I talked to Hastur, and Yogg-Sothoth, and Dagon. Well, I guess by the time it'll be like Monday, I'll be talking with Azathoth, and by then there'll be part 3 of the entire story, where I gathered all my allies. For something else entirely. I don't know what more I could do after that. Maybe just talking with the aftermath of what sort of thing is happening, because I only have, well, my character only has time to do one of these before. Just invoking the old one is too much, and he has to crash out. I already have done much thought on all of them, especially since I have already looked at all the options the first time when I thought I would have some new dialogue to choose from. Oh well.